What is the difference between microevolution and macroevolution? The difference is everything in the world. One of them is completely faith-based, and the other one is actually scientifically proven. Microevolution is just the ability to change within a species. It's like you might have a Chihuahua all the way up to a Saint Bernard. Different kinds of dogs, different shapes, different sizes, different skin colors, but they're all still dogs. Even wolves and even coyote are still all in the same kind, and they can interbreed. Microevolution is about animals that can breed together. This is how you know the kind, by knowing what can breed together. Macroevolution is the theory that different kinds of animals can come from the same kind of animal. In other words, if you breed enough cows, one day you can get a horse. Or if you breed enough pigs, one day you can get a lizard. Or the opposite way, you can breed enough lizards to get a pig. If you just find a different, if say a lizard mutates, when it's born it has a mutation, so then you mate that lizard with another lizard with a mutation, and all of a sudden one day you're going to get a dog or something else. And this is really what a lot of scientists teach. They teach that every single kind of animal has a common ancestor, that everything is coming from one single-celled organism, and it's completely faith-based. They will try to use the so-called geologic column as proof for this. They will try to use the so-called fossil record for proof of this. But if there truly was proof of this fossil record showing macroevolution, what would that really look like? That would truly look like more half-breed species than you would full species. In other words, you would see more and more fish with legs. You would see birds that only had one wing, or you would see all kinds of mixed up creatures that are in this halfway point of evolving into another animal. And we don't see this. Everything in the fossil record is already put together. Everything. They would try to use, birds from the past that seem to have sharp teeth or have claws, and still to this day we have animals like this. We have bats, we have different things, we have the platypus, we have different animals that God has just created just how they are. Doesn't mean they're evolving, it just means they're different. God shows his glory by making a wide variety of different kinds of animals. So, understanding that macroevolution is completely faith-based, next time someone tells you that it's true, just ask them for one example that is visible today of one animal turning into another kind of animal. Ask for one example of something like a lizard turning into a mammal, or a mammal turning into a lizard. There is no evidence for this. So that takes it away from the realm of science. Science is something that we can repeatedly do tests on. Science is something that we can see and we can constantly witness. So if we can't constantly witness something, or if we can't do a test and see it happen again, if we can't go in a lab and do it, it's not in the realm of science. It becomes a religion. It becomes a faith-based belief. And anything that they say takes millions of years, it takes faith to believe. And this is the claim. Their claim is that, okay, well, we don't know this happens for sure. The only way we can make it sound even plausible is to say that it happened during millions of years. Well, that takes it out of the realm of science. There's no way we can tell, because no one's going to live for millions of years. No one has seen any of these changes taking place. So it becomes completely faith-based. And it comes to a point where people are just learning, but never coming to the knowledge of truth. Right here, 2 Timothy 3:7. Always learning, but never able to come to a knowledge of the truth. The Bible talks about people that do this. This is chasing after a knowledge that's not even true, a fairy tale that's been told to people, and it's a very meticulous fairy tale. It's one that a whole jargon has been put together for. There's all kinds of terminology that's been added to it to make you sound sophisticated when you're talking about, this macroevolution and the way these different organisms came together. And it'll make you look like you're really talking about something, but you're really just talking about the Wizard of Oz or something. You might as well be, because it's just a complete fabrication of someone's mind. There's no way we can witness millions of years. Even in carbon dating, there are many flaws in the carbon dating system. It takes faith to even believe what the carbon dating tells you. I think a lot of people think they just stick some kind of thermometer in the rocks and it just pops up and says, doom, 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 10 million years. No, that's not how it works. There's a lot of complicated things that are attached to this process. And it takes assumptions that are made before you're even able to do it. There are different father and daughter atoms and isotopes and things that they measure out and they have to see. But before they even measure them out, they have to first make assumptions of what was in the rock when it was first created. Because rocks are created. And when rocks are created, they have a certain amount of daughter isotopes and father isotopes. And they transfer from father to daughter isotopes in a certain speed of time. But you have to also make assumptions of when they changed, how they changed, how much was in them when you first found these rocks. Radiometric dating, carbon dating has been proven to be faulty over and over. There has been rocks that had formed from a volcano and they even knew the time. And they tested these rocks and they came back to be millions of years old. When they even though they knew that the rock was only 50 years old, they've tested it and it's come back to be millions of years old. So if we can't trust rocks that we know the time of, if we can't trust the date of rocks that we know the time of, how much more can we not trust the rocks that we do not know the time of? There's hundreds of different dating methods, and the majority of the dating methods actually come back to showing that the Earth is younger than millions of years. Most dating methods actually come out to the Earth being thousands of years and not millions of years. But this goes against the conveying theory, the number one theory. So since it goes against the theory, they use the dating method that goes best with their theory. This is selective information. This is more and more confirmation of 2 Timothy 3:7. Always learning, but never able to come to a knowledge of truth. Make sure that when you're learning from the Creator. Everyone has a choice, and every choice has a consequence. The biggest choices have the biggest consequences, and the biggest choice you will ever make is who you choose to put your faith in. You can put your faith in man, or you can put your faith in the Creator God. Something to think about.
Do take good care of yourself.